Hey, how's it going? Yeah, you've been doing okay? Same. Have you been up to anything new lately? Just hanging out. Me too. I know it's been a few weeks since we've seen each other. Yeah. I know school's been the majority of what I've been working on. Yeah, we're using this new instrument. It's called an otoscope. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So I'm gonna be looking in your ears and your nose and your mouth. Don't worry, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm not sure. I have a few different things that I have to do. There's like a light built into the otoscope, so I also have to do some light tracking and like eye movements, but most of it is going to be your ears and your nose and your throat, since that's sort of the unit that we've been working on. Yeah, and I just need a lot of practice with the otoscope and making sure that it feels okay, like when I put it in your ear. I'm really nervous to do that on a real patient. Yeah, I don't want to like shove it too far up someone's nose or hurt their ears or anything. So if you could tell me how I'm doing with that, that would be great. I know. Oh, that's what friends are for, the brutal honesty. Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty much gonna be it though. Are you cool with that? Okay, sweet. I'm probably gonna have to take a few notes as well. Yeah, but it won't be anything too crazy extensive in terms of like how before I had to ask a lot about your sleep and stuff like that. Yeah, this is much more focused on the actual structure and how it looks. So I have to take notes about what I see. Okay, cool. Well, just to get your chart started for today, I'm gonna write your name. And what's today's date? Is it? Okay. Everything's been flying by. I know my perception of time is just not there anymore. Okay, we're doing ear, nose, and throat. And using the otoscope. And I'm just gonna make a note that says that I briefed you on what we're gonna be doing and that you're okay with it. Okay. Okay. Cool. You ready to get started? Okay. So this is my otoscope, my new best friend. It's got a light in it that's actually pretty bright, but it doesn't look as intimidating when the cap is on. So I will be using the cap, and then later on when I do your a little bit of eyes, I will use both. I'll do it both ways, if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so do you have a preference where I start? You just want to get the nose over with? Okay. Alright, so essentially I'm gonna like practice, like there's a certain way that you're supposed to kind of lift up the nose gently and look in, and really just the sort of first little bit of the otoscope should be in your nostril on either side when I put it in there, so it should feel kind of light and almost not ticklish, but just pleasant. It shouldn't be like a lot of pressure jammed onto your nose. So I'm gonna be practicing that a bunch, and if you could just tell me if it feels okay. gonna be fine. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, how does that feel? Okay, not too bad. Alright, I'm gonna do it on the other side now too. So, have you been watching anything new on Netflix or Hulu or anything? I haven't heard of that new. Oh, really? Is it slow moving or is the pace of it nice to start? Yeah, sometimes I try to get into a show and like if the beginning of it is a little slow, it's really hard for me to get into it. Unless someone's kind of like recommended it to me. How am I doing, by the way? Does this feel okay? Okay, good. Your nose looks really good. I know that's something you probably never thought you'd hear me say, but it does. There's no redness. Pretty much at all. Everything looks exactly as I would expect it to. And don't worry, you don't have any snot or anything. It's clear. Okay, so now I'm gonna try to practice putting the otoscope into your nostrils without using my finger, because sometimes people have sensitivities, or if they have a like a sinus infection or some sort of, God forbid, a broken nose or some deviated septums can be bothered when you apply pressure like that. So now I'm just gonna kind of try to gently put this into your nostril without hurting you. Hopefully it should feel comfortable, as comfortable as it can. Okay, and if you want, you can tilt your head back just a little. You don't have to though, or we can do it both ways. Okay, cool. How was that? Okay, cool. Yay. Oh yeah, me. Well, I finished watching Avatar, rewatching it. Yeah, it had been a pretty good amount of time since I'd seen it last, so it was really nice to watch it again. And it got me into the anime mood, so now I'm rewatching Naruto. Have you ever seen that? Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know people make fun of it a lot, but I really like it. I think it's really good. There is a lot of like waiting though, but that's pretty standard, I feel like, with a lot of anime. There's like a lot of build up before anything serious happens. Exactly, it's so rewarding when the serious thing finally happens. I'm gonna try to use my other eye now. My right eye has actually a lot better vision than my left, so I'll probably favor it, but just in case I ever have to use my left eye, I want to have some practice. Okay. Okay. Just gonna take my time a little bit more because I can't see as well, and I want to make sure I'm identifying all of the same things. Yep. Oh yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite character. Well, I do have one favorite, which is Shikamaru. He's like my bae in that show. But I don't know, I think they're all pretty cool. And I just like seeing all the different like moves. I think I'm not 100% sure about this, not that it's a life or death situation, but I think I would probably want the Byakugan ability if I could choose one. Yeah, it's like they have like supervision essentially when they use it, and they can see like energy flowing in the body, but they can also see like scout really far in the distance without having to be there, which I think is really cool and could be really helpful. I don't know why I like it. Maybe because I just like the word Byakugan. Yeah. It's always something stupid like that for me that like draws me. Like, one of my least favorite characters is the guy with the puppet, but I love his name. It's Kankuro, and I just think that sounds almost just like Speardew. I just think that sounds really good. I kind of like all of their names though. Temari and Anko, and obviously Naruto and Sasuke. I know if I have to hear Sakura say something about Sasuke like one more time, I'm gonna lose my mind. Although I know I'm gonna have to hear it a million more times. And I think for the girls, Ino is definitely my, like, bae. It's so silly to say, but whatever. Okay. How did that feel? Okay, good. Like I said, everything really looked good. I didn't see anything abnormal. Both of your airways, passages look unobstructed. There's no inflammation, no redness, no blistering, no excessive amount of mucus or damage. Like, it doesn't look like you have a scratch in there or something. Yeah, sometimes people who dig in their noses and pick their boogers can like actually get a scratch and get infected, and that's not a pretty thing. Yeah, no, thankfully I haven't seen it myself, but they show us pictures, you know, especially in the books, to just like learn how to identify it. Yeah, it's gross. Okay, so let me just think about what I should write here. Okay. Okay, and then for your part, did you feel any pain? Not just with my application, but like in your nose while I was looking. Was anything painful or uncomfortable? No? Okay. Have you recently been having any issues with your nose or sinuses? Any extra runniness, or have you been stopped up? Have you had any sort of like hay fever, allergies? A little bit of allergies. Is that common for you? I think we talked a little bit about that. I can't remember if you take a medicine for it though. That's right. Okay. So is that sneezing or stuffiness or... Okay. And runny. Okay. And have you been having to use tissues a lot? Okay. Have you noticed around the sides of your nose any sort of peeling or discoloration? Has it been burning in the creases? Okay. Do you use a face lotion? Yeah, not just a sunscreen, but like a moisturizer or anything like that. Okay. It's funny how much like we know about each other, but then there's so many things that we don't, just from like daily life. Yeah, I mean, they're not like important things, but I feel like sometimes I've been really surprised by friends like over the years, learning that they like drink 3 cups of coffee in the morning, or that they have some certain ritual before bedtime. Like, you just don't think about those things with people, and then when you learn that information, it's weird that it can actually influence your like perspective of them. Yeah, not in like a drastic way, but I guess it depends. Yeah, there are certain things definitely that people could do that would drastically change my opinion of them, but even like the small things like skincare or something like that, you just don't, I don't think about it, at least. Do you? Yeah, I don't know. Okay, that was all besides the point. I'm not going to put any of that on the file. Okay, so I think that that's everything for the nose. Would you say, and this is partially for me and partially for my homework, would you say that I did an even job when I was placing the otoscope in each nostril? Did it feel about the same? Most of the time. Okay. And what about when I switched eyes? Okay. So I need to make sure that I'm not pushing it too deep. Okay. But it wasn't uncomfortable. Okay. And then what about with the difference between your head tilted or not tilted? Did that change the experience? Okay. Slightly lighter touch. Okay. Alright, cool. We can move on if you're ready. Okay. So I'm gonna change this. I have a bunch of spare little caps, and they're all sterilized, so they're all exactly the same, but I'm just gonna put a new one on, so I'm not transferring your nose gunk anywhere else. No, you didn't have any, I'm just kidding, but you know, still, I think the thought of that is kind of, yeah. Okay, so would you like me to do your ears or your mouth, throat? Mouth, okay. So again, I'm going to be using the light. I'm going to have you open your mouth, and I'm going to look. I'm not going to actually touch in your mouth. I am going to have you open it in a variety of ways for me, and I'm going to sort of inspect what I see. So I might make you make a few faces. Okay. Alright, so first, if you can just open normal. And I know that's a weird thing, and it's always like, okay, how far should I open my mouth? do you worry about that? I always worry about that. But just like whatever feels normal for you first. So don't like stretch huge, but just normally open. Okay. Alright. And I'm just checking to see that the tissue in your mouth is looking pretty much the same throughout, so that there's no like really bad spots of discoloration and no worrisome sores or anything like that. I'm gonna look into the back of your throat too to make sure nothing's inflamed and that you don't have any unexpected growth, and that your uvula, your punching bag, is looking normal as well. So if this time I can get you to do like a bigger. Okay. Good. 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 Okay. All right. And another second. Okay, good. You can relax for a second. Yeah. Everything looks good so far, yeah. Have you been having any pain in your mouth? What about in your throat area? Like, even if it feels like it out here? A little tenderness? Okay. Okay. How have your teeth been feeling? Okay. Can you go E for me? Just gonna look at your teeth and your gums as far as I can see them here. I know I'm gonna be able to like identify you better than your mom. Okay. Alright, and let's see, this time I'm gonna try to look into the sides of your cheeks. So when you open your mouth and say ah, if you can also stick your tongue out kind of far, because I want to try to get it depressed without me having to poke in there. Okay, so I'm just gonna look at your right cheek first. Okay, good. So just say ah. Okay. Alright, and I'm gonna look at your left cheek now. Okay, same thing, just say ah. Good. Okay. I know, squinting like that is something I need to work on. I feel like maybe I should just get an eye patch. It would be less of a hassle. Okay, so now I'm gonna remove the tip of the otoscope because I want to have a broader field. I was using this to really like pinpoint and look finely at the different areas in a more magnified, but also how do I say this, like exactly like a streamlined tight view of each area slowly. So with the cap off, it's a much, here I'll shut the lid off and show you, it's a much larger opening, right? So now I can look at your throat as a whole, your mouth as a whole, have a better understanding of what might be causing you some tenderness if I see anything. Okay. Okay, so first, if you could just open your mouth however it feels comfortable for you. Good. Okay, yeah, I do see a little bit of redness, and the way that it is sort of laying out on your skin, I would say that this actually might be from your allergies. Yeah, sometimes it can make your throat feel itchy or tender or sore. Do you have any like post-nasal drip? I didn't see anything when I was looking in your nose, and I don't really see much right now in your throat, but have you been having that sensation at all? Not really? Okay. Because that can also make your throat feel sore sometimes, but this could just be like irritation, just standard irritation. I'm gonna look at your cheeks again if that's okay. Okay, so just remember tongue out. Okay. Yeah, no, I have no idea how people look good when they do those pictures with their tongue out. That is not for me. No, I mean, they look really cute. I like, I'm not against the pose, I should say, but I always look crazy when I try to stick my tongue out for a picture. It never looks like cute. Yeah, I always just look like very awkward, so I tend to not do that. I haven't really figured out like my picture face. I guess if I like took more pictures of myself, I could figure out what would look good. But I feel like what looks good in a selfie is not always the same thing that's gonna look good like when you're taking a group photo and it's farther away and you could be from this angle or you could be from that angle and you don't really have any control over that. So I would have to like, I don't know, put my phone camera on a timer and like stand back and pretend that I'm posing with people, which is so weird and uncomfortable. So I don't think I'm ever gonna figure it out. But I definitely envy the people who just know, like, oh, this is the right angle for me to do this face and I'm gonna look cute every time. Maybe it's just my face. I don't know. No, you always look really cute in pictures. It makes me jealous. I think so. No, I like that pose. It's cute. Whatever. Okay, I gotta do the same thing with my left eye. So, yeah, don't go chasing waterfalls, girl. Okay. I always just feel really uncomfortable too, like taking a lot of pictures of myself because I guess it just makes me feel kind of vain, and God, it's hard for me to use my left eye. Yeah, it's hard for me to feel comfortable like just taking picture after picture of myself, and then every time I look back at them it's like, okay, that didn't go well. And usually after that point I just am like, okay, what am I even doing? Let me stop this. It's hard to go through the camera roll and be like okay with more than one out of like 90 pictures. So it's just very time consuming. If you're me anyway. I don't know how you are. I mean, I know how your pictures turn out, but I don't know how many pictures you take until you get them that way. you like use Facetune or anything? Yeah, I've never actually tried it. I've never downloaded it or anything, but I've watched a lot of YouTube videos like with what you can do with it, and I mean, it's pretty crazy. Obviously, a lot of people get called out for doing a crappy job of it, but it is interesting to see what people think their best face would look like, you know, because like you can manipulate how you look to be pretty much whatever you want. So I think that's the most interesting thing to me, is what people think looks good. And I'm not calling anybody out, but sometimes it's just very interesting to know that they see themselves in a certain way. And I feel like a lot of the time I think that their normal face looks better than what they create. Not always, but I don't know. Yeah, right. Like they'll reshape their nose or their jawline completely, and it's just strange to be like, is that what you want to look like? It also just shows you how different everyone feels about like beauty and what they think is attractive, which I guess is kind of the one uplifting side of it, is like my version of what I think is going to be attractive isn't going to be the same as the next person's, and that kind of is a positive thought. I don't know, what do you think? I think it's optimistic. Yeah, I agree. Okay, if I can close the right eye, I'm going to look again. If you can just give me the ah with your tongue out. Good. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna look at your cheek now. And the other side. Okay. And can you do the E face for me again? It's crazy how much clearer my vision is on this side. Okay. Alright. You can relax. Everything looks really good. Except for the redness. Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't say that it looks bad. It's not like drastic. I didn't really see it that much at first, but once you mentioned it and I was looking for it, it's definitely there. It's just more faint. It's not something that I feel like you need an antibiotic for. Granted, it probably still doesn't feel that great, so you could even do like a throat spray, just something over the counter, or you could take like a Claritin, Benadryl, whatever like that. But if you don't want to, I mean, I don't know if you have any hot drinks that you like drinking, but tea or hot water with honey and lemon, or warm milk, or hot chocolate, or coffee even, like anything warm will soothe. And if you don't like any of that stuff, I know it's also getting like really hot here, so you might not want to drink any of those. You can also like do a steam. So you can either get a really hot bowl of water and put your face over it while the steam rises. Sometimes people put like a towel over their head and covering the bowl, just like a washcloth size, so that the steam is kind of trapped, and that can help. You can also use throat lozenges, and you can also do the steam thing in the shower or in the tub. So if you're already bathing, you can pump up the heat a little bit, and if it bothers you, do you take a warm shower? Okay, I take like a cool shower, not cold, but more of a refreshing temperature, unless it's like the dead of winter and I'm actually cold. So for me, I'd have to turn the heat up substantially, and I'll just turn the shower head or step out of it so that it's not actually touching me, and then just breathe in the steam. Yeah, any of those things should help. If it does get any worse though, definitely let me know. Yeah, I can probably recommend something that would be a little more intense and helpful. Obviously I can't write a prescription yet or anything. Okay, so just gonna look at you real quick from the outside. Can you swallow? Can you swallow again? Okay. Okay. All right. We are zooming through. Do you want me to switch this off? I really don't mind because I have a bunch more, but I didn't touch anything, so it's up to you. Okay, cool. We're gonna move on to your ears then. And of course I'm just gonna be using the otoscope in your ear canal. Again, let me know if there's any discomfort before I actually touch your ears, since I know that they can be really sensitive. Have you been feeling any ear pain? Do you have any new piercings I don't know about? Okay. And have you been feeling clogged or tight in this area? Okay. What about like at the top? Because I'm gonna have to sort of pull the ear a little bit so that I can see. So is the surrounding the pinna tender at all in any areas, either regularly or newly? Okay. Well, I'm not going to be like tugging hard, so do let me know though if it feels uncomfortable at all, and I'll definitely stop and we'll figure something else out. Okay. So I'm not going to take the tip off for this part because it's obviously important for me to be able to see inside your ear canal. But I am going to use it to also look at the outer portion of your ear and make sure I don't see anything that shouldn't be there, or any signs of issues. Yeah, sometimes people can have acne or eczema or some sort of rash. A lot of extra grease or wax buildup can be signs of, poor headphone hygiene, or there's just a lot of stuff that can be just on the outer portion of the ear. So I'm going to look at that first and then move to the inner portion of the ear, where I'll be checking for inflammation. I'll be looking at your eardrum to make sure that it seems to be sort of moving correctly and that there's no, there's like this membrane. It's almost like a mucus that can cover, and sometimes if you are sick and you yawn, you hear that like crackling noise. And that can be a sign that you have this extra mucus thing going on, and then the mucus can let me know if you have some sort of a infection, but you haven't been feeling anything. Okay, and how has your hearing been? Have you been experiencing any hearing loss? Have you been exposed to any loud noises lately? I feel you. Okay. Alright, and have you had any ringing in your ears? So pretty normal. Not often. Okay. Alright, I'm going to get started then. I'll start with your left ear, if that's okay. Alright, so first I'm just gonna look on the outside portion of your ear here. And so far it looks pretty good. Don't see anything particularly concerning, and this isn't hurting you where I'm holding it. Okay, I'm going to place the otoscope in your ear canal now. Does that feel okay? Okay. Alright. Looks pretty good. Just pulling your ear from different places now to change the view a little bit. Everything looks normal on this side so far. Okay. Can you open your mouth for me? Just a little. Okay. Alright. Good. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna do the same thing now. I'm gonna be using my left eye, so you shouldn't feel too much of a difference. The only thing is, if you could judge me while I'm putting the otoscope in. Okay? Other than that, it's just for me to familiarize my eyes. Okay. So I'm just gonna look at the outside again first. See all of your little folds and creases. You have good ears. Thank you. I actually like my ears. There's something I've never been subconscious of, which is, you know, it's nice to feel that way about at least one body part. I'm gonna put the otoscope inside now. Okay. How does that feel? Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, I do. I have my cartilage pierced on one side, and then I have the industrial bar on the other side. And I have 2 earring holes on each ear. The industrial is kind of painful. Actually, the one that I've always really wanted to get is like this cartilage piece. I don't really want that one, but this one I've always wanted done, but I'm actually scared. I know I've had like every piercing under the sun, but for some reason, just feeling that, it just feels really sturdy and I imagine that a needle going through that would hurt like hell. Maybe I'll still get it done someday. Actually, I think the one time that I was like courageous enough to get it done, there was some reason why I couldn't. Like, I was playing a sport or something where I knew I was going to be able to keep it clean, and I didn't want to deal with getting an infection or something. Yeah, because my cartilage piercing did get infected the first time that I got it done, and I had this like major bump of skin. I think it was called a keloid, something like that, that grew because of the infection. And I was so stubborn, I tried to like leave it in for as long as I could, but eventually I had to let it close up, and then once it healed, luckily that went away and my ear went back to normal, and then I just got it pierced again and made sure I didn't get infected. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go in on your right ear now. I'm gonna start with my right eye, look at the outside, and then look at the inside. I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but I have to be descriptive about what I'm doing when I'm talking with a patient so that they're not surprised. Okay. So, just look over here for a little minute. Okay. Looking on the outside. Yeah, I think the actual earlobe piercing is nothing. Like, it gets hot, but it doesn't feel painful, in my opinion. Okay, I'm gonna put the otoscope inside now. Alright. Good. I do see it's a little bit more pink on this side than on the other side, but nothing crazy. Does this feel okay? Okay. Eardrum looks good and healthy though, so this could be in response to your allergy thing going on, or it could just be an irritation to Q-tip, or stick anything in your ears. Okay, and do you use earbuds, the ones that actually go into your ear canal? Okay, because sometimes the earbuds specifically can influence your inner ear health, because they do sit so far in, and they, I know I'm like falling over, and they can like make your wax build up more than usual. They can cause irritation, so yeah, it's crazy. They're actually really like bad for your ear, like your hearing too. I still wear them when I go biking, but only for like 30 minutes at a time. Yeah. Okay, I gotta do my left eye. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna get a little closer, sorry. Alright. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna put the otoscope in now. Okay. Still like trying to figure out what feels the most comfortable for my arm position. I'm gonna try a different angle if that's okay. Okay. Yeah, I think it's definitely better up. Yep. Does that feel better too? Okay, good. Alright. looks really good. Like I said, you have a little bit of redness there, but it's nothing crazy, and I definitely don't think you have a infection of any kind. Yeah, you can actually have either viral or bacterial infections, so they're treated differently. Some of them can take, you can take an antibiotic and clear it up, and other ones sometimes you just have to wait them out. Sometimes there are certain ear drops that you can use. Yeah, even though the symptoms and the pain might feel very, very similar, it's not just like automatically one thing with the ears. That can make it a lot harder to diagnose, which is why we have to get really familiar with how the inner ear looks, so that when we look at someone who has an unhealthy ear, we can see all of the differences that would indicate what kind it is. Yeah, so you're helping future citizens. And me, of course. Okay, let me think. And hearing. Okay. We're going to do a couple more things to test your hearing, just because they are part of the ear, nose, and throat sort of exam of things. Right, like if I was realistically giving one. Okay, so I'm just going to do a couple little things. I'm going to make some noises with my fingers outside of your ears on either side. And first I just want you to tell me if you can hear it. Okay. Can you hear that? Does it sound about the same on both sides? Okay. Now I want you to tell me if you hear it on your left or on your right side. Okay? Left, good. Left, good. Right, okay. Left. Right, good. Okay. Both again, great. Okay. Now I'm just going to say some numbers into your ear. Okay. And I'll do just 3 at a time because I'm not trying to make you think a whole lot. And if you can just repeat them back to me when I come back to this position. Right, so you don't have to say any of them until the end. Okay. 17, 22, 86. Good. 17, 22, 86. Other side. 94, 12, 22. Good. 94, 12, and 22. Okay. Next I'm going to say some random words, so they can be anything. Okay. Lake, fan, cask. Lake, fan, and cask. Good. Trees, elephant, flower. Good. Trees, elephant, and flower. Okay. So it sounds like you're hearing fine on both sides. I am going to do another test with my finger sounds. Essentially, I'm just gonna like go like this with my fingers, and I'm gonna start close to your ear and move far away. You might have done this before, and just let me know when you can't hear that sound anymore. Yeah, eventually I'm just gonna stop doing it, so okay, here we go. Good. Other side. Good. Okay, this time it's going to be a little more difficult. I'm going to start off doing both, and I want you to say either left or right when you hear that one stop, but I'm not going to stop them at the same time. Does that make sense? Yeah, so if I'm doing this and you hear the one on the left stop, whenever you hear it stop, say left. And then whenever you hear the right one stop, say right. Okay, that was just an example though. You never know what I'm gonna do. Okay, here we go. Great job. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna do that again. Okay. Good. Okay. That seems really great to me. I don't feel like you have any major issues with your hearing, and you're not reporting any issues with your hearing, so I'm not concerned. Okay. The last thing we're gonna do, as I had mentioned, is some eyeball work, and the last thing we're gonna do, as I mentioned, is some eyeball work, some light tracking and such. And the reason why this is grouped in, it's not usually a part of this type of exam, but since we are practicing with the otoscope and it's similar to a tool that we would use when we're testing vision, they just lumped it all together. Yeah, so it's all part of the same assignment. Okay, so I'm actually gonna cut off one of the lights for this part, make it darker so that the flashlight's gonna be significantly brighter. You don't have a headache or anything, right? Okay. And are you very sensitive to bright light? Okay, well, it shouldn't be like painful, but it is gonna be bright, and I'm gonna just have you do a few things, okay? Alright. Okay. Okay. Tell a ghost story. Alright, so first I'm gonna use the otoscope with the cap still on, so this light is kind of small. And I'm gonna have you check it, and then I'm gonna look in your eyes for a second with it, and then I'm gonna take the cap off and have you check that light as well, and maybe do a couple other things too. Okay, so can you see this? Alright, so I'm just gonna track it across your vision. You can just stay still right now. Alright, now I'd like you to follow the light as best you can. Okay. Good. Okay. Alright. Gonna look at your eyes now. Yeah, I really have to get better at closing the right eye before I'm seeing patients. I think it's just when I'm bringing the otoscope close to my eyeball, my instinct is to like blink so that it doesn't hit my eye. But obviously the point is to be able to see, so not very helpful. Okay, other side. Okay, and it's pretty standard to just use one eye for each for a better view, so that's what I'm doing this time. Okay. Alright, looks good. Now I've got the cap off. It's obviously significantly brighter and bigger. I'm just gonna have you first look straight ahead or anywhere really, but just a fixed point. Okay. Keep staring. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Okay, great. Now I'm going to have you check the light again, okay? So just follow with your eyes. Can you see this? Okay. Doing a really good job. Okay. Good. Alright, I'm going to look at your eyes again, and this one I'm going to go a little quicker because I don't want to totally blind you. So I'm going to get my eye ready first. Can you look up? Okay, look down. Look to your left. And to your right. Great. Okay, other side. Get my eye ready. Okay, I feel like Popeye. Alright, straight ahead. Okay, and look up. And down. Good, look left. And right. Okay, great. Whew. Sorry, I know that's bright. Okay. Alright, so now I'm gonna have you look at my light and then look into the distance, and I'm gonna look at your eye at that point. Okay? So can you see this here? Okay, can you just look at that light? Good. And then look at a point back here for me. Okay, good. Now can you see this down here? Okay, look at that again. And then look off into the distance back here somewhere. Okay. Alright, same thing on the other side now. Can you see this here? Good. Okay, stare at it. And somewhere in the distance. Okay. Alright, good job. One more. Down here, can you see that? Good. And look somewhere into the distance for me. Okay, great. Alright, so now I'm going to cover and uncover the light. Okay? And I want you to say whatever you want when you see the light. Okay? just keep looking kind of straight ahead. It's kind of like a lightning bug. Spastic lightning bug. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing up closer to you now. And if you can look in the distance, still fix on a point, but not something close, something far. Okay, ready? Keep looking into the distance. Okay, good. Looks good. Next, I'm just going to stand pretty much at this distance. I'm going to use the flashlight to see into your eyes, but I'm not going to use the magnifying lens. I'm just going to look from here. Okay? So I'll have you move your eyes in a couple directions for me. Alright, so first just look straight ahead. Okay, cool. Now if you'll look up for me. Okay. And look down. Okay. Can you look to your left? And to your right? Great. Okay. Okay, let me think if there's anything else I'm supposed to do. Oh yeah, pupil dilation. Alright, so there's direct and consensual pupil dilation, meaning that when I shine the flashlight in one eye, the direct light is going to make it, dilate. Either expand or contract based on if the light is shining on it or not. On the other side, I'm going to hold my hand in the middle. On the other side, your other pupil should also, to a certain degree, react the same way. So even though the light is not directly shining into it, it's having a consensual reaction. It is sort of mimicking or equally reacting to the stimulus that I'm providing in the other eye. Okay? So I'm just going to put my hand in the middle here, and this will be direct, direct, direct. Okay, and now I'm going to look at your right eye while I shine into your left, okay? And that is consensual. Good. Good, that looks great. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so direct, we're gonna do consensual. My ring's getting in the way. I'm gonna turn it around. Okay. And consensual. Good. That looks great. Okay. I'm done torturing you. Readjust. How do your eyes feel? Okay. So none of that was like incredibly uncomfortable. Okay. And have you been to the optometrist lately? Okay. Alright, well, I think we've done everything. Can I get you to sign? Yeah. If I don't drop everything first. I know, I need to clean my notebook. Okay. Thank you. Okay. And it should be. Go signed in. Doctor's signature that I'm practicing. JK, I'm just gonna be a nurse, but still important. Runaway pencil. Okay. Yeah, so that's everything. How did I do? Okay. I don't know if you're just being nice, but thanks. Okay. Well, what do you want to do now? Are you sleepy? I'm pretty sleepy too. I do have some nice like face masks. They're like cool. They're in the refrigerator. We could lay those on our eyes and sip on something to drink and just lay down and chat. I know I was like making you pull weird faces and have to be focused a lot, so I'd love to hear about you more and catch up since it's been a few weeks. I did most of the talking, sorry. Okay, cool. Well, let's go do it.